All right, hello, wonderful people. All right, hey, hope you're all doing fantastic. Let's start this live stream off a draw and chat. I'm going to start the stream off with a fortune cookie. So let's start off with a fortune cookie. In just a moment here, we're about to unravel a fortune cookie from having Chinese food the other night. And my fortune is your fortune. So I shall share my good fortunes with all of you. And here we go. So, fortune cookie, Super K. This is from Carry Out Co., New York. Got this from a restaurant in Los Angeles. If you haven't noticed, I've been working to alter the way I speak for some of these live streams, simply because sometimes I listen to them, I turn them on, and I'm like, wow, when I turn this on, I feel like my voice is pretty harsh. Not that my voice is necessarily bad, but sometimes I feel like for a draw and chat, a really chill live stream, it could be much, much calmer and relaxed. So, those of you who may have tuned into my previous videos, this live stream is a little bit more relaxed and chill. But here we go. What is this fortune cookie? Oh, the fortune cookie ripped. Does that mean anything about the fortune? That probably means that the paper is really cheap. A man cannot be comfort without his own approval. Okay, what does the other side say? This is a funny fortune. So a man could not be comfortable without his own approval. Whatever that means. It's a nice little fortune right there. And we're going to get started in just a moment here. Get settled down. Be starting up in a few moments. And going to be working on this next section right here, which is these feet right here. Okay. And let's go like this. We'll go ahead and sharpen this in just a moment. Let's see. Where's that pencil? Here we go. Let's go like this. And all I'm doing right here is just translating back and forth. I'm not going to do this the traditional way. Traditional way is where you do these drawings with the traditional way is you do this with an actual graph. So you actually break this all down into graphs, and then you just do the graph. But I choose not to do the graphs. I like to really train my eye, and we're gonna go just estimate. I'm just gonna look at each line that's drawn here and just estimate about the length. And more importantly, if you go with the length, what you might do is that you're constantly looking at where the line ends in comparison with the other lines. And that's it. So let's go back into this. 1, 2, 3. First line of the day. And I'm actually using a light blue pen. This is actually used by illustrators. So I'm not an illustrator, but I was taught this by a variety of artists where you use the blue pen because the blue pen itself can disappear in the blue pen actually disappears into the paper when you draw with a black or a regular pencil over it. And let's see, we're going to bring that down. And here we go. And then let's go. You know what? Boom, 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 boom. We're gonna go. I just want to deepen the angle a little bit on that piece, on that heel. So what I'm thinking is, this length is about the same length as this length, which is a little bit longer than this length. So this length I could actually cut in a bit. But let's see, we're going to go down here. And here we go. This is a really weird line because I'm like, what exactly is this signifying? Because this isn't up here, it's all the way up here. So I'm kind of curious. Maybe this is just showing some of the angles that are supposed to happen, or maybe the curve of the foot. I don't really know, but we're going to keep going. So this one looks a little bit longer than that. And it should be no further than, if I take this straight up, if I take this as a line straight up, it should be right under here. So it should be right under here pretty much, a little bit past. So if I go like that. And if we bring that, looks like it's just in line. So if this is just past, that's not going to work. Of course, you got to be aware that there's always possible illusions that could pop up that could distract you. You know, like when you have lines next to each other, they can often have like illusion effects where just being conscious that they can create effects where, you know, some lines look longer than they're supposed to be when in reality they're like the same length. So just being in a constant state of awareness and trying to like keep up where lines ends. If you want to learn or do this via visual guesstimating, visual estimates, rather than if you're trying to, you know, just do it by grid. If you want to do this by grid, it would be a totally different thing, but that's going to come just about the halfway. That's right. And then we're going to go with this one just slightly past this area. And here we go. So we're going to keep this going on right around here. We're going to go bring this around in a nice little sweep here, right here. And there we go. And let's see, we're going to come from right over here, about halfway, and come right down here. And here we go. So bring this in. And you know what, this line's a bit long. We can actually reduce the length of this one right around there. And honestly, it could go a little bit more at an angle here. And there we go. So being a little bit more accurate down here. Let me think, this length will probably start right around here. Right around this angle. And let's find a good endpoint. So it's going to go bam, bam. Maybe we do this line first. So if we bring this down, let's see, it's going to be about like that. Bring that right there. Boom, boom. That, like that. So I'm thinking it'll probably end right around here. But let's find what the length in relation to the heel. So I'm thinking, you know, I'm trying to find the best length to do this. So that length for the heel, heel to that side, heel to that side. Maybe a little bit longer than this heel, whatever I have here. If I go just a little longer than that, need to go boom and then a little bit. So Let me think. Heel probably ends right there. So heel, and then a little bit more. And that should be good. That should be good. All right. And let's go bring another area. Just start right around the tip up there, so that's fine. And then the foot is going to be about the length of the heel, or this area. So they're going to go down and just above this section. So see if this comes through straight across, this should also actually go through. So if I go like this, like a nice little clear line here, this probably needs to come a little bit further. There we go, that should be good. All right, and we're gonna come down with this, starting like right above there. So here we go. We're gonna start right above there, and we're gonna go bring this down, down, down. And then we're gonna bring it down again. And you know what's great about this is, you know, this isn't a creative activity, in my opinion. This is just a standard exercise activity. But what's great about it is the end result doesn't really matter, except for how close you can get to the final result. And you can always measure that. And what's great about that is... What's great about that is you don't have to worry about anything else. You just have to take a look at the beginning and then compared to take a look at the end, and that's it. If you did a good job, it'll match. If you didn't do a good job, then it won't match, and you just got to either do it again or move on. And then here we go. So this is going to come right down here. We're going to go bam. The only thing I think is this one. So if I do a line right through here, do a straight line right across there. This is all right. So let's get this nice little foot line right over here. And then we're going to have another line that just goes above the center line, which is right here, we're going to say. And then just an estimate right over here. And as we continue, we'll take a look at this. Let's see. Let's go from up here. And here we go. Bring this down just like so. Keep it nice and easy. Staying chill with this. And what's great is no matter how deep we make some of these lines, some of these blue lines, how thick we make them, it's never going to overpower when we try to make the other our regular lines, which is great. So right around here. So if we make our lines thicker, it's not too big of a deal. Let's see, we're gonna go like this, a little bit further down, and then straight across ahead like that. And that should be somewhat straight across almost. And then we're gonna go like so. And here we go. So yesterday we had an affirmation Tuesday. I feel like every day should be a way to affirm yourself. However, I didn't make this a special stream, just a standard draw and chat stream. And here we go. So the midline, well, this is funky. So the midline is going to come right around there, which this is 1, 1, 2, and then three. You know, I don't usually do this, but I want to see how accurate we are in relation to what we're seeing. So I need this area. Oh, that's not bad. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see where in relation of this line so basically I need like a straight line here from here to be the top of that. And if I look at it like this, yeah, it's about the top. Okay, good. So we've been doing a good job. Overall, just constantly like checking back with the reference, just trying to make sure that all these points match up. Again, I don't use a grid, so you know, I'm just really, for this particular drawing, just training my eye to get a general idea of like where things are connecting, the proportions of all these different lines. And I think so long as you get the proportions okay, at the end of the day, you'll be fine. And then this you know, the graphite lead, or the graphite leads will ultimately stand out more than anything you could possibly do with the blue. So the blue is really just there to and let's see, this will be the first area here. And there we go. So what I also think is happening is I need to improve this line right here. And that's fine. So now let's go like this. We're gonna go give a nice little curve right here. Nice dramatic curve. People like dramatic curves on feet. And let's go, actually let's go around the other side, sharpen, define some of these edges as well. So we're gonna go like here. And ultimately, this is going to be transformed into shadow. A lot of these areas are just going to be shadow. So we're just going to color into them, draw into them. Just going to, Peter Stout, do I think a beginner should worry about measuring so much or just draw a bunch to loosen up and get a general feel for proportion? I definitely, it depends. I think it depends on personality. Yeah, I mean, it depends on a personality. I think that the more complicated answer is it depends on personality. Like some artists are just going to be super super perfectionists, and they're going to want to do something like this, and they're going to want to measure out everything. And maybe to break them out of that, they should just be more loose, right? But there are some artists who might be too loose and so focused on creativity and expression, they want to learn how to draw tighter that, they should probably loosen up. So I think of course, I guess the easy answer for me to say is, well, it depends, it depends on a person, depends on an artist. And then just let it at that. But a beginner should worry about measuring so much. You know what? I think a beginner who wants to learn this style specifically, Charles Bargue, it was made in a very specific style. If they want to learn this style specifically, they should honestly do it the way it was designed, which is either have it literally side by side. This should be flat. This paper should be flat and taped alongside with your paper, and you should be going exactly across, right? I think Bargue should ultimately be learned exactly how it is. And then knowing that, depending on, the maturity of the beginner, right? The maturity of the beginner being, if it's just a kid who, isn't necessarily trying to come up with their own style or anything, then, translating directly across is probably good. But, if it's a kid that happens to study art a lot and they love art and, they have an aptitude for it, you could probably put them in the advanced beginner level, if you know what I'm saying, So, I think a real serious Charles Bargue, given the designer of this, would have them actually focus strictly on the lines, focus strictly on the lines. The original way this book was designed, this program was designed was, you basically copied it, and the only grade that you would get is how close you would get to it. But there's so many other ways to do it. And, personal, now here's the thing. So my personal opinion, though, is that I feel like in general, artists should, just do what their natural habit is, and, decide whether they need to get more tight or get more loose. So the way I started drawing was just drawing anything and everything. I didn't care what it was. I would draw my own feet. I would draw the TV. I would draw the couch. I would draw the building outside. And I did it all with pens. So it's very, very loose compared to what we're doing now. But, I think it helps to know whoever's actually doing the artwork, know their personality. And, the better you know yourself, the better you can come up with a program for yourself. But ultimately, it depends. And there might be a kid who's a kid or an adult who's super talented, and they're really good at copying and they're really good at copying, but all they need to do is just get better at having a creative edge, having a creative spark. And that you might not be able to do that with Charles Bargue, because the kid's already really precise, really conscientious, or the adult, right? So if they're already really conscientious and they're precise about everything. Like they'd actually be using a ruler, and they'll be using a you know, a triangle to measure out everything. If they're already like that naturally, then maybe the thing that they need to open up isn't Charles Bargue, but it's, you know, something else totally different. So, yeah, I mean, what is your situation, right? I guess that's the question. You fall in the too loose camp. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, you probably, you know, personality-wise, feel comfortable with things that don't look perfect, right? You're probably comfortable with just going like, oh, let me go like this, right? So let me copy like this, and then, you know, let me go like this, and we're going to come around, bring the foot, and then we're going to go around, and like, you know, a little bit loose is okay. And then, you know, I don't know how, I don't know exactly, you know, what you're like, but, you know, you're probably okay with something like this, right? Just like going like this, and then like this, and then, you know, figuring out, checking it nice and loose, and then, you know, just estimating along the way, estimating this foot along the way, just real quick, you know, getting the big toe, getting this little toe right here, and then, you know, just getting these toes like loose, and then, you know, you come up with something that doesn't really look right. This is just a super quick example, right? But, you know, and then really like shading in the feet, not really thinking about whatever. And you know what? There's art that like this that's appreciated, right? So who knows? This is pretty bad, but but here's the thing: is if you're loose, and you know you enjoy the looseness, and you think you could come up with some cool stuff, then that's great. But you know, again, this is Bargue. You can actually find here. Let me pull this up for you. You can find this. You can find it here. Let me pull this up for you. The free version of this. This is actually a reprint. So you know, I'm not talking about pirating. This is a free version, or no, this is a paid version of the materials in here. But the actual materials were made in 1850 and is now in a public domain. And you can find and decide what you want to do, what you feel is best for you. But so if you look up archive.org, you know, you can find the original book, I think translated with like details. Actually, this isn't the original book. I think this is like an explanation of the actual way that this is modeled, and it has all of the casts in it. But I like a physical version, so I actually got this this physical version just to have. I didn't feel like I needed any of the explanations in it, but you know, you get all the same casts that you have here, you know. So this is ultimately just reprints. These are ultimately just reprinted from the original. But it's good to have like the explanation around it, you know. It's good to have like a nice explanation around the studies and everything. Often you're not happy with the result. Yeah, I mean, if you're not happy with this result, then, you know, it's about tightening up. But, or maybe not tightening up, but just finding a way to stay loose, but also keep your freeness, keep the freeness of it. So, you know, one thing that's good is that, you know, you're not so focused on the perfection of it that you're limited by that, right? You're not stuck. You're not preventing yourself from moving forward. That's good. I mean, that's an amazing thing. There's some people that, you know, are such perfectionists that it takes them And it's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing necessarily, depending on how good their art is. But, you know, there are some that can just be frozen. But let's see. So fundamentals. What are the fundamentals, right? The fundamentals: color, line, shape language. But there's no color with pencil. But anyway, let's see. Do I think measuring it like this helps me redraw it accurately from imagination, or do you become dependent on the measurements? No, you know what? I think drawing this in a way when you're constantly looking back for your accuracy, it's actually quite helpful for drawing from imagination. I don't know. Drawing from imagination is a funny thing because there are very few artists on this entire planet that draw from imagination very well. Even like some of the best artists that you could think of, you know, very few of them draw accurately from total imagination. I mean, maybe like even, let's say, like Kim Jung-gi, one of the greatest artists alive, or one of the greatest artists who has since passed, you know, draws hands like this. You know, he'll like draw a hand, and then, you know, because the characters are small, he'll like, you know, kind of just like give the shape of the hand, and then add a couple of you know, couple of lines to define the fingers. It won't be this bad, but you get the idea. Like, he'll do it in his masterful way. Like, you know, even Kim Jung-gi, one of the greatest, like, comic style artists alive, will, like, you know, make a nose that will be more anime, or not anime, but like, you know, a cartoony style. And when I say greatest artist, I mean, like, he's an amazingly talented artist that I think could probably draw this foot from memory. He could draw a lot of things from memory and design, but even then, there's still some things that he makes that are not totally, like, perfect if you compare it in human, like, proportions. So, you know, I'm using him as like a Kim Jung-gi. Let me show you the example instead of... I love the visual arts, because anytime I find myself trying to explain something visually, I know that I can point it out. All right, so Kim Jung-gi. Yeah, I mean, if you draw, I like, if you measure, was it gonna help you draw better from imagination? Maybe. I don't know. Like even look at Kim Jung-gi, right? I guess he is pretty amazing at making hands, but like, you know, look at him. Let me try to find an example that supports what I was talking about. Even this, you know, you find that he draws a great hand from imagination, but even this is a little wonky a little bit, you know, like the hands on the if you're really judging, I'm not a critic, but if we're really just like thinking, you know, how perfect do you need to be, and you compare yourself to some of the greatest that have ever lived, you know, you can see there's some imperfection in his hands there, right? There's a little bit of like what's going on with the pinky and the other fingers in there, right? And I'm not judging to discredit him in any way. I'm only judging for the sake of saying that, you know, to draw totally from imagination and, like, you know, try to get it super accurate. Like, even the best in the world are not focused on that, right? They're focused on, like, the big picture, right? Like, you look at a hand like this, Kim Jung-gi, one of the best who ever lived, and, you know, hands are flat, right? He's got the idea, but, you know, he's not. And this is also exaggerated too. Trying to think what else would be a good example here. Like, look at these hands, right? Kim Jong-ji. Oh, wait, no, these are, oh, wait, no, he did it, right? Kim Jong-ji, one of the greatest artists who's ever, drawing artist who's ever lived, right? He made these types of hands, you know? Like, just give you the idea. And that's all from his imagination. So, yeah, exactly. So, when you ask the question, do I think measuring it like this helps to redraw it accurately? I wouldn't say so. I don't think so. I think seeing lots of hands and drawing lots of hands helps you to do it. But the reason why I'm doing this exercise is because I really like Charles Bargue. I really like I wanted to improve my aesthetic, to like improve my aesthetic here. And you know, there's an aesthetic to this, right? There is a look to all of these drawings and paint, or all these sketches. There's a look. It's a classical look. I wanted to learn a little bit about that style, you know, like these poses. They're simple but powerful at the same time, right? They're like this pose. You would never think of a pose like this, but what's up, Joel? Joel, how you doing, man? So we're gonna erase this section right here, and we're gonna go round. We need to round this out a little bit. So yeah, I hope that helps to. Yeah, it's more of a suggestion of a hand, right? So that's just an example. Do I think if Kim Jong-ji really tried and spent a lot of time, you know, if you set him down, it's like, Kim Jong-ji, I challenge you to draw a hand from memory. Like, he could probably do one of the best hands ever in existence. And, you know, from memory. He could probably do one of the best ones. I'd argue that he could have. So, you know, just something to consider. Do you need to get it perfect? Draw from memory. Does the measurement help? No, but you know what I think really does help? More than actual, like, measuring out and doing these measuring. I'm only measuring because the rule of Bargue is to get it as close as possible. That's pretty much the only, like, the judge here of whether you've done a good job with Bargue. But for other intents and purposes, for other intents and purposes, I think the best tricks that you need to know don't come from measuring every detail. It comes from, let me finish this piece right here. It comes actually from knowing how, like, the hand works, right? Like, knowing that when the hand closes, it's gonna, like, you're gonna go towards the center, right? It forms a, like, circular thing when you're drawing hands. But some people who don't know this might draw a hand like I can't even make the shape, but they might draw a hand grabbing, and they might go like, you know, like this. This is a hand that's grabbing. Like, and then here's the thumb, here's the nails. And that's how they might draw the hand, right? Like, that might be like the natural way to think of how the hand is drawn. But what it really is every finger curves toward the center of the palm. So if you just know that by a little bit, and you make the center of the palm here, you can be like, okay, well, the pinky is probably like this. And you're going to come up here, and this knuckle's probably going to come like this. And you're going to have some nails there, some nails there. You're gonna have a nail there. And then, you know, this, I guess this finger probably comes in a little bit closer. And then you're gonna come down and then, you know, get a thumb here. And you can instantly see, like, you know, there's a difference in seeing how the structure of the hand goes. And this looks even more realistic just because you know the fact that, you know this one trick that the hands tend to curve inward. Now, of course, you know, this is still pretty poorly drawn and quickly drawn, for example. But, like, you know, another trick that you can learn is just, like, figuring out how, like, the measurements of like, where the joints kind of, like, separate. You know, the middle finger is always going to be a little longer. This finger is always going to be shorter. You know, so just knowing that these usually typically follow, like, some sort of curve right here. You know, this is always, like, a natural curve. So, you know, even right here, if I was to, you know, do that, all I did was to make this more curved and round, you know, you can instantly find a difference. Here, let me grab a book for you where I learned all these different tricks. Let me grab a book.
You're so loud, Emmett. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Yeah, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't even block you out with pillows and the door. Even with having good hearing.
All right, so here we go. So if you're looking for, like, a more modern book with a fresh take on drawing, I definitely recommend Andy Loomis's book. Now, I will say even Andy Loomis's book is a little bit too, even Andy Loomis's book is a bit too very commercial, very realist. But what's great is you can learn some of these tricks. So drawing the head and hands. Where's the hands? This is called drawing the head and hands. Everything's about the head. Where's the hands? All right, here we go. So I found this book to have a bunch of great tricks and tips. And not be overly explainy, you know, like there's just a handful of things here. So this, only the first chapter is really, like, overly complicated. But, you know, you get the general anatomy. And, you know, this is more complicated than you probably need to do. But see, you can see, like, it kind of gives you the idea of how to just, like, shape hands, how to form these things. And just knowing these details, depending on the type of visual person you are, is enough to really get you to that, to make a more accurate hand. You know? Really is that much better just by knowing these things. So, yeah, this is a cool book. I like this one a lot because it gives you all these tricks about how, you know, the hands form and things like that. Different measurements, ratios that you can figure, and why your hand might look more like a baby hand versus an adult hand. I don't remember where that detail was that says that the hands close inward in a palm, but here we go. The most important fact, the pads are so arranged that the palm, even liquid, can be held in the hand. The hands serve primitive man as a cup, and by cupping the hands together, he could eat food. The big muscle of the thumb is by far the most important one. That muscle combined with opposition gave man grasp powerful muscle. Yeah. So, more important than actual, so let's see. Keep studying your own hands, learn about them. The inner muscles are deeply embedded, not as important as the outer shapes. One indication, shape of the palm in almost any action. Fingers can quite easily be attached and aligned. Study lengths of fingers. Get rid of the idea that hands are hard to draw. So, yeah, so this is a great book. Very commercial. I would say that Loomis is probably like, you know, a couple generations, but still similar to the evolved style of Charles Bargue. So, I recommend some of Andy Loomis's handbooks. So apparently I talk very loudly when I get excited about artwork. But yeah. But there we go. So a lot of good tricks in that book. And when I say tricks, you know, I mean like helpful things to understand. Not tricks. Tricks sound like they're tricks, but they're actually like measurements and proportions of the body that help you to, you know, ultimately become a better hand artist. If that's, you know, if you want to draw hands as your thing, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with drawing a hand. So we're going to go like this. And I just want to sketch out the area where the shadows are going to go. Here. And then we're going to draw the shadow here. And then we're going to go like... Yeah, I hope that was helpful. So even back to your... All right, so you said use your feeling, Howard Pyle. Yep, into feeling. And Frazetta painted from imagination. You only used a hand model? All right, let's look at Frazetta. So you're saying that he always painted from the imagination. He really never used a hand model? I mean... I think that's very possible, but I think I did say that at the end of the day, drawing lots and lots of hand, just as an example, right? We're using hand as like the ultimate example, but I think drawing lots and lots of hands is ultimately what helps you become better at drawing hands. Not so much measuring out every detail, like know a few proportions or whatever, but... So Frank Frazetta, is he a painter? Let me see. I don't actually know Frazetta. Is he a painter or a digital artist? Yeah, one of the most renowned illustrators of the 20th century. Okay. I've probably seen his work, but yeah, super pop art, amazing. Like, honestly, I don't think Frazetta, as amazing of an artist as he did, probably, you know, I don't think he spent all day measuring things out, you know. He probably did an initial sketch, and then on those sketches, he'd tighten it up, and then finally at the end, after multiple sketches, he got it right, you know. He got the final painting that he wanted to do. Let's see what Frank Frazetta's sketches look like. Frank Frazetta sketches. I wonder if he has any of his sketches. He doesn't show his underlying sketches. Oh, there we go. There's some sketching. Look, so even Frank Frazetta, right? Since he was the example here, you know, you look at Frank Frazetta, a quick sketch, like, look at that hand. It's like, you know, it's just an idea of a hand. It's an idea of a hand, right? Let's see. Well, this is actually a pretty good hand, but this looks like a full-on illustration. Here we go, another hand. It's hidden. He hides part of the hand behind the sword. And this isn't a criticism. I'm not criticizing his ability to draw hands here. But just sharing, like, since somebody shared Frank Frazetta, let's actually look at Frank Frazetta's work. And this looks like a full-on illustration. He probably did a couple sketches of this before getting to this final point. I think you could even see some of the sketch work around the outside before he went over it with a pen and painted over everything. Here looks, let's see, is this Frank? So, I can't tell if this is an actual Frank Frazetta or if this is somebody trying to copy Frank Frazetta. Original Frank Frazetta pen and ink drawing. So, you know, Frank Frazetta, right? Like, you don't need to measure everything out. This is an amazing drawing. You don't need to measure everything out. You can stay pretty loose like this. But you do need to know how to draw the things that you feel are important, such as, like, you know, he probably wanted this character to have really thick calves. And he wanted to make his his knees and his legs look really muscular, and, you know, have this clenched fist look. So, you know, you have to know how to draw things that are important, like these details around the mouth and everything. Really strong forearms with that, like, wrist thing. So, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, hey, thanks so much, Peter and William Bugart. Take care, everyone. Yeah, I could get totally off track pretty easily, but here we go. Those are my thoughts. Thoughts around art and thoughts around learning art, the study of it. And you know what? The better you get, the faster you'll be. And let's see. So we're going to go down here. We're going to go right down and... Thank you. So my passion shines through. Yeah, totally. That looseness, as you were talking about, I think those are some good examples of, like, you know, the right balance between being loose, but also good, you know, loose and good. I think another good example of somebody who's loose and good is Kopinski. I can't remember his name. Is Alexander Kopinski or Andrew Kopinski, but he's a Super Ani artist, very talented, amazing artist. Paints very loosely, and then he goes over it with a pen to create these, like, really brilliant, brilliant drawings. So here we go. I'm gonna come down. Maybe this is gonna be a little bit of a. I'm gonna bring this line in a bit. And let this and let's find where this toe let's go like this. So Peter Stout help to get us into some conversation here, but, you know, back to this idea. All I'm doing with, you know, I'll carry on the conversation based on this idea, like, you know, how I feel about the importance of getting everything perfect, right? Doing all these measurements, and I think it helps to get the form. I think it helps to train that part of your brain, especially if you're a really loose. Someone who likes to, you know, find the looseness in artwork. And you know what? I feel like as an artist, there's always that part, no matter what, depending that when you're a loose artist, you sometimes, at least myself, I don't speak to everybody, but, like, sometimes I feel like I have to do the non-loose stuff just for the sake of saying that, yeah, I can do it. But, you know, it's not the thing I do. And that's something that everybody will have to decide for themselves as far as what they feel is important in their artwork. And then here we go. So this other toe. We're gonna go right around here. And then let's go up right here. I'm so loud. I get excited. I just get excited, that's all. So here we go. We're gonna go bring this up, and then let's see. So this would be an alignment. I'm gonna go reduce the angle of this toe here. No, a little bit better. Could be a little bit better. I think if we bring this down just a little bit. And all right, there we go. So I think what we can do now is to work on the Achilles tendon is missing. Is it? Maybe you can't see it from this angle. But is this my secret city? Mark Kistler. So this is Charles Bargue. This is all based on Charles Bargue. And you know what? Like, a lot of his stuff is based on plates. I don't know. I mean, it looks like there's I don't think they're missing I think the Achilles heel is behind the object. You know, it's behind the heel. And I will say this is a bit of an exaggerated angle. You know. But yeah, thanks Yod-Vav. Appreciate you. Thanks for jumping in to share your thoughts, dude. And let me see, we're gonna go across like this. All right. Let's find some of our shadows now. All this messy sketching has really messed up this area. But let's go like this. We're gonna have and let's get some more sketching down here. But yeah. I mean, I don't know. So like, here's the other thing: is a lot of these Charles Bargue's work. It's all based, like, he has an Achilles here. You can see the little bit of a tendon right there. But a lot of these works are based on casts, and these casts are based on, you know, the casts are just casts. So they're casts of a body. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they missed like a muscle group here or there. But I think at the end of the day, what's really helpful about Charles Bargue is really the just the dramatic looks that you can kind of get, you know, this idea of the classical perception of things, you know, just the classical view of things is really where most of this comes in really helpfully. But there we go. We're gonna come down like this here, and we're gonna come around the front of this. And then we're gonna go like here. And then we're gonna bring this piece around. And we got that big toe right there. So let me see how we can best carve out some of the lights here, the shadow. I'm gonna go like that. And here we go. So, Yad, what's going on? Like, what caught your attention here besides the Achilles tendon? Let's go into here. Let's start to get into some of our shadow here. We're gonna bring in our shadows. We're gonna use a different pen. I'm gonna pop open our STAEDTLER Mars Lumographs, and we're gonna bring in our 6B, which is a very dark, soft pencil, and it's going to help us to just start to create our shadows. And let's see.
I think we were great together. We've worked together for many years here at Carson, and I think we took that partnership and were really able to, you know, do the right thing in that moment.
Was this just on your your feed, randomly popping up on your YouTube feed, or did you happen to find me from previously? My channel is still small to where I still like remember most people that pop up in here, or my streams, you know, still at that point where I can, you know, remember people and have like a regular conversation. And here we go. We're gonna go. Let's get this right here. And here we go. So we're going to come around like this, go to the side of the foot. Yeah, here we go. We're gonna go bring this up and then down. Give it a nice little triangle there. It helps to take a second to look and try to figure out like what exactly that is. And if I had to guess, I have no clue what this shadow is representing. Because sometimes if you're confused about a shadow, if you can like apply it, add the context to it, that it's like part of a thumb or part of something else, it can help you figure it out and draw it more accurately. But I honestly don't know, so I'm just going to go with it, and we're just going to work it. We're just going to work it, you know? We're not going to focus on trying to understand the form totally. We're just going to draw what we see. Just trust what we see. You know, they say that historically, I know a lot of people don't like history, but historically, artists weren't really like supposed to express themselves. They were supposed to just draw what the master of the school told them to draw, right? Do it the way that the school taught. And we've come a long way since then, of course, because that would just be bizarre to hear that. Like, what do you mean I'm not supposed to express myself? Like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard, right? Like, that is stupid. Like, you're a dumb teacher if a teacher was ever to say that to you today. But traditionally, yes, that is the truth. That is the truth that if you were a commercial artist, you're pretty much just supposed to learn from the school and copy whatever the master of the school was doing and do what they told you. And only the best students who were like the best at completing a certain style, especially in commercial art, right? Because commercial art, you're working for a company, you're supposed to, you're supposed to draw what the company wants you to draw. But in general, as far as art is concerned, we've come a long way. But as far as like how art was basically taught back in the day, expression was like last. Supposedly. I didn't live back then, but only from what I've read in like various art history books did I find this out, that, your personal expression was not always a prized activity in creative society. It wasn't always like that. No one cared how you felt or thought artistically up until like the 1800s, when finally the camera was invented. Two things: the camera was invented, and then became widestream, plus movies and everything started to come out. So artists weren't really like, they needed to move beyond realism. They needed to move beyond totally figurative stuff and the schools, and they needed to find ways that expression would be able to contribute. And that's where artists like Picasso, Modigliani, Cézanne, the Fauvists, right around that time, Van Gogh, of course, is an obvious example. So many of those artists began to solve those problems in the 1800s. And, with the camera and everything else, that's how all the other art movements that came out of the 1800s or after the 1800s helped art to evolve to where it is today. And here we go. So I'm going to grab a different pencil for this shade. I'm going to go with the 2B. You have heard the same thing. What was that same thing the impressionist part, or?
Winter storm rolled into the area, dumping several inches of snow, and the temperatures dropping down to the upper teens.
Unfortunately, the weather was just not going to allow us to do that. It was pretty frustrating. Obviously we will go missing, especially in the winter. Time is critical.
Like I said, I just kept moving, so as I'm moving, my body's staying hot. There was snow in the Midwest, so I would take it off intermittently.
Fresh cup of Joel is here. The fresh cup of Joel is here right now. And let's see, we're gonna go right into here.
He didn't have any, obvious signs of injury. He didn't have any medical.
And we're gonna go add in some subtle detail right there. Let's go ahead and bring in.
And I'm thankful to God for that. I mean, I'm just very thankful that he's alive and home. It's been an emotional roller coaster.
But when we asked him the toughest question, are you planning on going back?
Snowboarding? Yeah.
And Garcia is expected to be released in the next day or so from the hospital, but the LA Sheriff's Department, they tell me this is a great reminder for anyone who is planning to be outdoors, especially in severe weather.
And let's shape this out right here. We're gonna come down right here.
Something that Garcia didn't have that day. But again, guys, a positive ending to an incredible situation here. We're live in Pomona, Chicago, as NBC4 News.
All right, Christian, thank you. Now to the challenging effort of cleaning up after the fires. Crews are preparing to clear out all of the burn.
That historically artists were taught to replicate a style rather than create their own. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's in the books. That's what they say. And you know what? Even in modern art, like contemporary, if you're a comic book artist, if you're an artist that works for Blizzard, World of Warcraft, Marvel, anime, for any sort of Dragon Ball Z, if you're a commercial artist, like, it's almost still like that, right? You're not really supposed to have your own vision on things. That's the art director's job. And your job is really just to copy whatever is on the, whatever. If you're drawing Mickey Mouse, you're not supposed to create an impressionist Mickey Mouse. You're not supposed to, make a Jackson Pollock inspired Mickey Mouse. If you're working for Disney, you're just supposed to make Mickey Mouse in a way that will make kids force their parents to buy Mickey Mouse paraphernalia, right? Like, that's the state of commercial art too. You're not really supposed to have an expression. Now, maybe if you're a concept artist, maybe if you're the art director and, there's a company that wants something like totally new and innovative and you come up with a couple of designs. But ultimately, especially in fine art, there's definitely more room for expression. And you know what? Like, even the Sistine Chapel, right? Things like the Sistine Chapel, a lot of the artists in the 1400s that we see making these like beautiful classical Renaissance masterpieces, most of that was arguably commercial art, right? They didn't just sit in their living room making paintings that they could sell to the public. They were either working for a church, like people are too busy working to do like hobby art, right? So they were either working for a church or they were working for the Medicis or some other royal family that wanted them to make art. I think there's very few artists who were just like, hey, I'm just gonna, sit around and make art and try to sell those pieces. Like, so those Renaissance artists, it's arguable they weren't even fine artists. They were commercial artists at the time. I mean, obviously, it would be difficult to answer that, to argue that they weren't making fine art, but I think it could be a plausible debate. that because they were, you know, making art that was commissioned by a major organization and it had a very specific look that they had to achieve, then it's commercial art. Nothing wrong with it, but as we're talking about like what's acceptable as far as expression goes, you know, the change in art over time, things like that, I feel like it's relevant, right? Don't you think it's relevant, Joel? Don't you think what we're saying is relevant? Maybe, maybe not. So this part probably needs a bit more here. Yeah, you agree? Yes. All right. Joel agrees. Then we can end our
essentially picking winners and losers. We like your viewpoint so you can speak. We don't like yours so you can't. In this case, you need to be very careful.
You know, one thing that this doesn't show you what to see is like how to...
You need to be very careful not to say, you will get your student visas revoked because we don't like your expression. Because that, of course, is constitutionally protected regardless of whether or not you're a citizen.
How to actually like see as far as when you're looking at like a real foot. I guess this could be close. When you're looking at a real foot, you know, this is all black and white, but when you're looking at a real foot, things aren't going to be black and white or gray. You know, things are going to be pink and green and orange and all those different things start to add up. And let me erase away some of this.
And frankly, I think what we're increasingly going to see is a stress test on things like the separation of powers. We talked about in the very beginning, you know, freezing of federal funding.
So let's go in. We're going to curve this line in.
And we know that there are separation of powers concerns if the executive branch, not the legislative branch, tries to say, don't spend that federal money that's already been appropriated. All along the way of saying, I think we're seeing
So let's go ahead and get into top of the foot here. Let's put our 2B back, grab our 6B, and we're gonna go, let's see, like this.
Hi there, Michael and Colleen. Yeah, we've got those puffy clouds outside and some sunshine here on this Wednesday. Let's talk about the high temperatures today. Despite that sunshine, temperatures were still cooler than average. Downtown Los Angeles hit at 63, 62 this afternoon in Irvine, Riverside in the lower 60s, and we held at 60 for Burbank and Santa Monica. And outside this evening, we've got numbers in the upper 50s in a lot of spots. The exception, Big Bear, with that snow on the ground, you're down to 34, but it's 58 in Santa Clarita, 59 in West.
And here we go. So this is just a dark, let me try to find our shape here. This is a 6B pencil, which means that it's a darker pencil than the others. And what I'm trying to do is find the natural like curves here. Oh no. This actually needs to go down here. Trying to figure out like
This is the site where the EPA will be bringing hazardous materials from the Eaton fire area here to be processed. We have
I'm having a hard time figuring out like this, the difference between this section and this section. I feel like this is the heel of the foot. Oh yeah, okay. So this makes sense. Alright. That makes sense. Okay, so this is where the basic part of the heel ends. Or the pad of the foot, I guess what you would call it. So this is the pad of the foot right here.
With team members that have been personally affected by these tragic fires, we know what you are going through. You pay nothing up front.
And we're gonna go.
For your loss. Call 1-800-FIRA-120.
And give it some depth right here.
Did you know using the grocery outlet app gives you the opportunity to win groceries for life? Imagine never paying for groceries again. Well, what if I can't decide? Avocados or tomatoes? Why choose? At Grocery Outlet, you can afford both. And not just the basics. With Grocery Outlet, you'll find all your favorite brands included.
So let's see. We're gonna come up like this. And
escape to a vacation at Circus. Experience the thrill of the Adventure Dome. 5 acres with more than 25 rides to keep you on the edge of your seat. Right our newest attractions.
let's go like this.
Circus swings and Little Sprinter Raceway. More rides, more excitement, and experience.
We're gonna come around.
I had health insurance before. It's so expensive. I mean, I'm helping my mama. I don't have that kind of cash.
I know, but you can get financial help now from Cover California. It's totally affordable. You'd be surprised. They've got this calculator thing that shows how much you'll pay.
For real?
Yeah. What are you doing not having health insurance, man?
I know.
Here, I'll show you.
We all have questions. Cover California has answers. Find a health plan that's right for you. Cover California. This way to health insurance.
I'm John Morgan at Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've battled against insurance company giants, and we've won a lot. Injured, we became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
And let's see right here.
The toxic and hazardous waste from the recent wildfires is creating a great deal of concern. NBC4 was the first to show you the EPA's plans to haul debris from the Eden fire to a site in the San Gabriel Valley.
And tonight, another meeting where people are sounded off.
Let's just build confidence in the lines that we made. Make some final decisions here. And when I say final decisions, I mean where I'm separating these toes. Problem is, I feel like I've made this come down way too far. What is going on? How should we do this? I don't know. We will figure it out.
The staging area where the Environmental Protection Agency is receiving hazardous materials collected at thousands of homes and businesses burned in the Eaton fire. This site, selected by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, who owns the land, leased until recently to LA County. Things happen
So here we are. We're going to keep moving along on this, chugging along, trucking along. And even though there's some areas that I'm still feeling lost about, we're just going to keep moving. We're just going to keep moving, not focusing, spending too much time, just trusting that somewhere along the lines we will figure out the answer to our problems. And if you're curious what I'm actually struggling with right now, that is figuring out where exactly this section right here, we did bring in the detail, but also feels like it's more complicated than that, even though it probably shouldn't be. Let's see, this should go like up here. Oh, there we go. So maybe like right here, and this toe is going to come around like that.
And removing products like paint and household cleaners. This is what happens before further debris removal can occur.
Those are the two primary missions: make it safe and sort materials out so they don't want to be landfill.
The hazardous waste from Altadena will continue to arrive here.
See, what happens now is these toes look a little too long.
NBC4 has learned crews will no longer travel through neighborhood streets, but carefully move along the 210 freeway. The EPA also tells us protective measures.
What shall I do? So we're going to come down right here, around the foot.
Additionally, we saw a water truck spraying to control dust. Air monitors contained in these boxes are
We'll light that.
particulates and other organic compounds for the safety of those here and the communities nearby. Supervisor Solis says that must be the message to all.
Make this try to feel more natural.
Eyes and ears, and to help articulate and give that information to the public, so that there is some sense of trust, accountability,
And lighten this up
and transparency.
as far as the foot pad goes.
About what's going on here.
Yes.
And let's see, we're going to go. And here's the tricky part. You're going to have to redo this area right in here.
It's beautiful, but one thing you gotta notice is all the reporters are on with heavier. Because I know for people outside of California, literally, it's
So let's go.
We need our puffer coats. We need to layer up the pretty little stars as well. It makes us feel better when we wear them, you know?
So this needs to end like right there.
It's going to warm up, you guys. I want to show you what's going on as we walk over this way and show you the picture outside as we're looking live at downtown Los Angeles here on this Wednesday. Sunshine and those clouds around. Layer up if you're out and about. We'll talk about 4 things to watch as we head into the weekend. We've got clouds to some sun as we head into our Thursday, and especially Thursday afternoon. But an offshore flow does develop as we get into.
All right, so I need to leave that little gap right there.
Milder temperatures just in time for our weekend, so we'll warm it up. The 70s and 80s.
That's an important detail in that gap.
We are tracking some rain, but the good news for us, that rain stays to the north, mainly across Northern California and the Pacific Northwest. Outside this evening, we've got numbers hanging out in the 50s, 52, Thousand Oaks, 57 in San Bernardino. The exception, Big Bear, and at 34 with that fresh snowpack on the ground. It's 58 degrees for Long Beach.
And even this going in here.
Finally starting to make some progress to the east. It's pressing in out across areas in Arizona and New Mexico, circulating out across areas in the Four Corners. So this is pulling away. We've got high pressure that is returning. Tomorrow, we're still tapping into this northerly wind. So it will be cool in some spots, but eventually these numbers do moderate as we get into Friday and over the weekend. I want to widen out the picture even more because we're tracking this area of low pressure that's well offshore here out in the Pacific. This is actually going to be an atmospheric river, a big storm setting up out across areas in Northern California and the Pacific Northwest.
How am I feeling about this piece? Oh yeah, we still got a lot more to go, actually. I feel like this progress, I feel like this is a phase where we can still call it the ugly phase. Let's go with our 2B here. And we're gonna go ahead and figure out some of this space here. And
The coast also in the upper 50s, lower 60s as we close out our work week on Friday. Nice rebound though as we get into our Saturday and Sunday. Upper 60s, lower 70s, still nice on Monday. We'll cool it down Tuesday and Wednesday as that area low pressure I just showed you gets closer to us as we get into our Wednesday. That will likely be our chance for some showers, but we'll keep you posted. I'll let you know if there are any changes between now and next week. 59 tomorrow for the valleys, upper 60s as we get into the end of our work week for the valleys. Then the 70s are returning as we get into our Sunday. High desert communities, 60s on the way tomorrow and Friday. Lower 70s for the low desert, then the low desert Sunday back up to 83 degrees. Mountains on your Thursday, 49. As we head into our weekend, milder air moves on in, so we've got numbers in the 50s and the 60s. That's your forecast.
Soften this.
What's going on, Felice?
Hey, McGee still hit at 5. Just when the Lakers were getting hot, blame it on AD. Another diagnosed injury. Anthony Davis's medical record will give you.
And here we go.
Montel Jordan and Sean live February 15th. Get tickets now. Bargue. You've been hurt in an accident. Trying to write a attorney can mean the difference between winning $10,000 or $10 million.
And we're gonna go up. Let's grab our 6B. Let's grab a 6B right now. And I want to add a couple more deeper colors right here.
Hello, I'm Agent Hernandez with myhomesold.com, and we want to buy your house cash. We save you money with no commissions, no fees, no repairs, for free, no obligation. As is cash offer. Go to myhomesold.com.
I told myself all I want for Christmas is a 2 front seat. And then when it pressed GPS, I went for it.
What's the last year been like for you?
Awesome.
GPS is a full art specialty center.
God bless GPS. I wouldn't be here without them. It's opened up my whole world. The whole process was not even a month.
If your dental implant care is important to you, I believe GPS should be your first choice, and definitely your second opinion.
I owe everything to GPS.
And just looking to add a couple of shadows in a certain area.
Every home should have salon pots. Powerful yet non-addictive. Targeted and long-lasting. I recommend salon pots. It's good medicine. Find a solution that adapts to your lifestyle.
And here we go. Maybe a couple of lines. Some dark. And let's go right here. And grab our 2B and we're gonna go right into here. You know what I could try to is painting the outline and then using the eraser to give it like a softened. But how do I erase it like just right so that it actually looks softened? Well, I guess what you might want to use is like a blending stump, but I don't think I would ever use a blending stump because like you're basically, it just feels like you're constantly scratching the paper, you know? Anyone ever feel like that? You use a blending stump, you're like scratching the paper and it gives you like that scraping board feeling, that feeling that you get when you're scraping like a board or something. Chalkboard scrape.
Is this the moment to count the Lakers out? The NBA trading deadline is a week from tomorrow, and it is no secret the Lakers' biggest need right now.
Let's draw a subtle line right here.
That need has now become even bigger with the abdominal injury Anthony Davis suffered last night. This new injury will keep him out of the lineup at least a week.
And then this will be right across from there.
He's always been injury prone, always. To prove this point, he decided to run the scroll showing all the injuries that he needed.
Let's go like this.
It's like movie credits. You don't have to read all the names, just look at the magnitude. All right, without getting into specifics, Davis has suffered every kind of injury.
Not too much, but just a little.
From a groin
think more so as it comes to the end of the shadow here.
AD has even suffered a non-contact injury. Many earning the nickname street clothes from TNT analyst Charles Barkley. Fair or not, Davis' knack for getting injured has been an issue, especially now that he's the face of the next era of Lakers basketball as LeBron's career is winding down. AD is under contract for the 2028 season, earning $62 million a year. Big money for a big guy who can't stay healthy. Last night's injury in Philadelphia happened in the first quarter, throwing the Lakers out of in a 14-point loss.
Did I practice my Twombly today? No, not yet. I have not gotten to my... Well, I guess this is my Twombly right here. Here's some Twombly-esque stuff. Let's go... You know what? Let's do the Twombly. That's Twombly. Twombly-esque. No, I'm not gonna insult Twombly by pretending like my squiggles are as good or bad as his squiggles. So the next one's just his foot again, but it's bigger this time. So you know what? Since we have to do it again anyway, you know, should I just move on? Should I just... Should I just move on? We're gonna go right here. We're gonna come right here.
I just realized what you were doing there, and it's still going.
It'll go on through the end of the show. Thanks. Yeah. I'm not saying that fans are saying he's faking. You know that they need to make a push for that trade, and they obviously need it. Gotta get him some help. AD needs that. Let's scroll it. We'll check in at the end of the show.
All right, Silicon, the LA wildfires will have a significant impact on the housing market, and rebuilding maybe a...
You know what's good about doing this is the best part is that the more I do this, the more I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go back to painting. Can't wait to be able to like fill in these large spaces of color, these large spaces of area with color instead of pencil.
Picture this, the bold, irresistible flavor of your favorite chicken right off the bone. Redbird Farms super fresh drumsticks bring you perfectly crafted flavor and texture all in one bite. Experience the juicy, tender, mouth-watering flavor that will keep your family reaching for more. Stock up on Redbird Farms super fresh drumsticks in the frozen section.
Alright, before I start my next one, I think I'm going to call it a wrap on this one. I don't know, I might be able to push this section up a bit more towards the toe, the big toe.
It's Citizen's biggest president sale ever. Pay 0% interest for 36 months, plus save up to $500 on temper adjustable sets, and save up to $900 on purple to get a $300 gift with purchase. So this president's holiday, treacherously,
And let's see how that... That actually made it a little bit better. Isn't it crazy that erasing away some things can make something better? That's cool. But I definitely think just darken this little area right here. That little erasure made it that much better. Just round this out right here. And then maybe bring this up at an angle like that. want to find a way to darken this area.
Right now, you can get a $269 per month lease on a 2025 HRV two-wheel drive LX.
The all-new $13 Suzuki meal deal at DJ's Restaurant. Choose from 8 great brewhouse entrees. And get the sweetest ending ever, a free personal Suzuki dessert. An entree plus free dessert, just $13. That's a sweet deal.
The fires affecting Southern California communities have been devastating. If you have suffered property loss or severe damage, call now. Our experienced attorneys are helping wildfire victims in recovering their losses.
I'm not calling it for the night. I'm gonna play with my cat for a minute. I'm gonna finish around 6 something Pacific time. So I'll probably finish in like 45 minutes to an hour, because I have to take care of some people, aka my partner. There's an event that her friend wants her to go to that she's going to, so I am going to give her a ride to that event. But I'm going to come back right after and do some artwork. You know what else I need to do? You know what? This is not too bad right now. This is not too bad. I think all I need to do, maybe just a little bit of a darkening. No, Scat, I'm not playing with you right now. Give me 2 minutes. I'm gonna play with my cat in just a moment here. Give them some attention. So I think there we have it. That looks not too bad. Alright, we're going to be back in like in less than 10 minutes. Let's call it what time is it? 5:32, 5:40. Be back at 5:40 p.m. Cy Twombly. What's up, Scout? I'll put this on mute for a second. Oh, I can't mute it from this program. It's a bit annoying. There must be a way to mute it from this program. Text chat. Who would design an app where I can't mute myself? Oh, here we go. All right, wonderful people. Amazing people. Fantastic. Well, I had it on microphone. I mean, I had it on mute, so don't worry. Just my drawing. Autofocus, Camera Pro, Chroma Key. There we go. Good. I need a live status indicator. Alright, and we're back. So, those of y'all, what's up, what's up? Hope you're all doing great. Welcome back. Or I guess if I'm the one who should be welcomed back. Where's my welcome back, people? Just kidding. Y'all don't owe me anything. I owe all of you things, like entertainment, kittens. Want to see kittens? Yes. I owe y'all kittens. Yeah. Anybody else have kittens that talk a lot? Kittens that like meow and like say stuff to you? Where's she at? Yes and no. Oh, that was perfect. So I have this box here that's actually my mail. It would accidentally had my address on it, but this paper towel is in a perfect spot to cover it. So, lucky us. I was thinking about it. I was like, you know. So here we go. There's some kittens at the end of the Pookie. Yes, hey baby girl. Yes. Hello Pookie. I love how when she's like far away, if she goes to sit it back at the end of the table again, it's funny because you could see her just from her little white eyebrows. Her little brown white eyebrows. Scared her. They got scared. Stars of the show. Scout and Pookie. Hello stars. Pookie, say something. Pookie, show them you could speak English. Say hello. Say something. Aren't they the cutest little brothers and sisters? Little brother, sister. Getting big, huh? Those of you that were here like 8 months ago, they were the tiniest little two and 1 palm kittens, and now they're 10 times their size, their original size. They've been eating a lot. Look at this, these cute little ears on this. He's like, is there food? Are they hungry again? Hold on, I'm gonna go feed them before.
Sure, they're hungry.
They're hungry again. Can I use all the litter in those boxes?
There's a tiny bit left, but yeah, I had to completely dumped out the big ones and scrubbed them out because it was so disgusting. Filled it up with fresh litter, and it took most of the boxes.
And it was intense because each window that we looked out, we were like, oh, the fire is coming. It's all around. But it was scary. We knew we had a job to do. Like, okay, yeah, it was chaotic. And so when we actually were able to find her, we were relieved. Also just shocked that she was there. But we were relieved that we found her.
I want to make art, but I feel unmotivated to make the same foot again. But I feel like I should stay consistent and just stick with what's in the book. Honestly, I don't think the actual original book actually had it even like this, where you had to do a small version and a big version of everything. I don't think that's actually how they did it. But we're going to do it anyway. We're going to do it anyway. Just to force myself, to force punishment among, not punishment, to force myself to do something that I don't want to do. That's how I completed my first marathon, by the way. I don't actually like running, 26.2 miles. I did my first marathon 2 years ago. I've done 2. And you know what? I'm so glad I did it. I'm so glad that I don't like running, but I still finished a marathon. And how did I do it? I forced myself to do things that I didn't want to do. And I think that has helped me. You know, like, what does a marathon really do? It's not like a lifetime accomplishment. There's no, like, life reward where, you know, you finish a marathon and then suddenly, like, you know, the world around you kind of, like, makes way, right? It's nothing like that. Marathon really is its own reward. You know, you don't make more money. You don't, you do get more fit. You become healthier. But there's no, like, you get a little medal, but you don't really get, like, the major things, major reward that, like, truly is life-changing. But I think it's the little things that add up into the big things, right? So, what's in the book? What's in the book? So we got 2 feet. 2 feet in the book. So that's what we're going to be doing in this book. And let's see. So we'll go with that. Why am I using this blue pencil? Where's my blue pencil? I'm using this blue pencil because I feel like I'm never going to use it for other reasons, for typical day-to-day reasons. So I've decided that I'm going to use this blue pen. And let's go. Let's get started, people. Who wants to see some drawing happen? You know what? I might actually just draw this onto this. Why not? Do the same thing I did last time. No, this paper has too much distraction on it. So let's go like this. Alright. Where do we want to start? Start from the bottom this time, because this is going to be the furthest angle from the top. So we're just going to start from the bottom left, and we're going to go at a nice angle for the bottom feet right here. And here we go. And then we're going to come, so this is where the straight line is going to go, and we're going to go up. This could be a nice wide angle down here. I like this angle could be a little bit sharper, but that's okay. Boom, boom, boom. That's a wide enough angle. And then we're going to come around like right here. And what's in the book? What's in the book? Calling it. So yeah, I'm not going to call it for the night for a while, because I'm going to be painting, or I'm going to be drawing, and then we're going to take a little break for a couple hours, and then we're going to, not even a couple hours, maybe an hour or two, and then we're going to come back to draw again some more. We are going to draw a lot tonight, because Kat isn't going to be here. We're going to have no distractions except for you wonderful people. No TV. Yeah, kittens though, they're not that distracting though. So I feel like this line needs to be a little bit shorter. Because, yeah, it just needs to be a little bit shorter. This line's a little too long. Because that line feels right. This line needs to be, like, right. Actually, you know what? Just a little bit. Boom, boom. Yeah, just a little bit shorter. There we go. That should be good. And then let's go. I'm gonna go here. We will never stop, Omizu. Never stop artwork. Okay, so right up here, come down a little bit.
Ahead tonight, RFK Jr., his positions on vaccines and conspiracy theories, the questions he faced at his confirmation hearing, plus accusations thrown about the tech powering China's new AI platform on Nightly News.
3 weeks after the Palisades and the Eaton fires, many impacted families are starting to figure out their plans moving forward. So what's the future look like for these communities? NBC4's Alex Rozier spoke with real estate broker Jason Oppenheim from the Netflix show Selling Sunset.
Jason Oppenheim is best known for
Of course there's a pitch for a real estate company right now. A real estate mogul.
The start will be in 3 years. That's when you'll start, I think, to see some homes, back on the market for sale and a significant number of new homes. I'd say before you see just a real sense of normalization and you don't see concrete trucks everywhere, probably 5 years.
What are you hearing across Southern California right now? Are people wanting to remain in these neighborhoods and rebuild? Or do they just want to move elsewhere where perhaps there's less fire risk?
Some people are adamant about rebuilding and wanting to, rejoin that community. That's more the younger generation, the people that are closer to retirement, maybe 50s, 60s, 70s, and of course even in their 80s. Many of them, I think, are overwhelmed by the idea of a 3 to 5 year process before they can get back to a community. That's just too long for them, not to mention, many people aren't suited to manage a development project.
He has this advice for people starting over.
I think they need to be going to seminars or speaking to attorneys to figure out how best to access the most coverage they can from their insurers if they are insured. Also, speaking to a good real estate agent that has your best interests and not just representing a developer, making sure that you're getting fair value for your land. Maybe speaking to your neighbors, if you're going to rebuild.
And here we go.
Who's willing to give you a discount if you can get 5 or 10 homes on your block.
Oppenheim knows rebuilding will take years, but he's
Yes, rebuilding will take years.
have stepped up to help.
So many people are trying to figure out
These dimensions are so bad.
better for everyone. There's just so many smart, good people in this city doing the right thing.
Alex Rozier, NBC4 News.
I don't know what to do.
Los Angeles might look a little different. Waymo is now allowing its self-driving robo-taxis on major freeways. Up until now, these autonomous vehicles were limited to streets in select neighborhoods. Waymo says employees will get first access as part of a test run. The public will then get its turn through the company's app.
You know what? I think we can bring this all down and then adjust as we go.
Coming up next on the NBC4 News at 6, more confusion on the federal funding freeze, the response from the White House, and new fallout tonight.
Plus, the pop and desperate need of a forever home. The distinctive title Shiloh holds, and what you wouldn't mind giving it up.
And it is officially the year of the steak. Lunar New Year celebration.
Why is these proportions I did are so off? They're horrible. 'Cause look at this. I can instantly see how this line is like. What did I do? What did I do so poorly? Let me try this again.
The fires affecting Southern California communities have been devastating. If you have selling property loss or severe damage,
Let's try this again. I'm gonna give this another shot. So, huh? Yeah. Starting over, people. We are starting over from the beginning. Can everybody see what happens down here? Let me see. Yeah, you can see what happens down there. Alright, let's do this again. We gotta get a nice angle right down here. So let's get this angle. Okay, that's a good length. And then this length should be just a little bit smaller with a very wide angle. Just a bit smaller of an angle. And then another angle that's just a little bit longer than this one. Okay, and then this side, come up a little bit right there.
Whether you've been hurt in a car, motorcycle, or trucking accident, what you do next matters. Make sure to call Sweet James Accident. Every month, my firm of hundreds.
And I'll say I feel like even this angle is a little bit. Oh. Should I just trace?
All without paying a dime out of pocket. Recently, 5 out of the top 50 settlements came from Sweet James.
Let me see.
Our firm awarded best attorneys in America. Call Sweet James.
Just judging by the look of the mountain, I'm looking up it and I'm like, there's no way I'm getting up that steep slope. There's no way.
Right now, Texas snowboarder out of the right wood gets quite the story to tell tonight.
Alright, there we go. Just gonna stick with that. And let's try to figure this out again.
Concerns and questions about where all of that waste is going. And so we begin at 6 o'clock tonight with an amazing story of survival. A snowboarder lifted his
I got lost on the right wood.
Where?
The right wood, snowboarding.
Once again, everyone, I'm calling
For 48 hours.
Tonight we're actually hearing from the man at the center of that rescue. NBC4's Christian Gonzalez joins us live with his story. Christian.
Well, Michael and Pauline, I can tell you this is an incredible story. Malachi Garcia tells me he is still recovering here at the hospital, but he tells me he has been hiking and snowboarding for most of his life, and he thinks it's those outdoor skills that he believes helped him survive those 48 hours outdoors with the temperatures at its coldest.
This needs to pop right into the middle right here. So let's see. Right in this middle area.
They still feel like little pins and needles a little bit.
35-year-old Malachi Garcia opening up from his hospital on his Sunday trip to the ski resort.
Bird was not happy about that cat.
I just remember it was actually one of our first runs, so I didn't know I was going the wrong way. It seemed like I was going the right way.
Garcia says he realized something wasn't right when the terrain changed.
It said in my head, like, okay, I'm on the back of the hill. Like, I'm not going to be able to climb that up.
As Garcia shows us the minor scrapes on his body, he recalls going into survival mode. He realized he was lost.
I do, like, quite a bit of outdoorsy things. I do quite a bit of hiking and things.
As the search began that day to find him, a big winter storm rolled into the area, dumping several
Let's
inches
go.
of snow, and the temperatures dropping down to the upper teens.
Unfortunately, the weather was just not going to allow us to do that. It's pretty frustrating. Obviously we were missing, especially in the winter. Time is critical.
Like I said, I just kept moving, so as I'm moving, my body is staying hot. There was snow in the gloves, so I would take them off intermittently.
Now let's see. Alright, so now we're back on track. We're back on track as far as how this is looking. We're back on track, people. So we could be happy. We could be okay with where we're at. That toe toe. And then I think what's going to happen is we're going to make the little toe a little smaller. But this is, you know, the second time we attempted this from this bigger version. And you know what? We're just going to go with it. So let's see what happens here. From here, we're going to go. We need to cross across this center line right here. So we need to cross across the center line right here by a little bit.
Over the next few days, but the LA Sheriff's Department did tell me this is a great reminder for anyone who plans to be doing any outdoor activity, especially in severe weather, to have a plan. Make sure that you have a partner, you tell someone where you're going to be at, and also carry a phone in case there is an emergency. That is the one item that Garcia forgot to pack.
You forgot to pack a phone? Oh, no, here we go. This angle's... We're going to do this again. How is this angle? This angle is going to come in, so...
We were holding at 60 for both Burbank and Santa Monica. And outside this evening, we're down into the 50s in a lot of spots. It's just 50. Lancaster 54 and Van Nuys.
All right. And this should almost be to that piece. Ooh, got some issues. Got some issues here. We'll do this again one more time.
We've got clouds to start, clouds breaking for some sun as we get into tomorrow afternoon. It will be cooler than average once again with those northerly winds. And then this weekend, I'm actually trying
And this should be no further than this line right here. So let me bring this in just a little bit. All right, we're gonna make that happen. And let's see, come up from here. And this line should start right up between these two toes. So we're gonna go like right here. And we're gonna bring it up. Let's see, where's this?
That's right, Colleen. President Trump said he would shake things up, and he did on Monday when he attempted to stop all federal spending relating to federal grants and assistance programs. Now, the White House has pulled back on that order, which is just one of many that will test the constitutional bounds of the executive powers as president. Backtracking on a policy announcement that had been as confusing as it was controversial.
Where this comes down right here, goes up. And we're gonna go.
This according to a memo obtained by NBC News and confirmed by an administration official. It was just 2 days ago that the Office of Management and Budget announced a pause on all federal grants and loans or other financial assistance that might run counter to the president's executive orders. The president at the time said that Americans who counted on a federal paycheck need not worry. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid,
Cat. Cats are like, what's up with her? Just trying to make sure that everything is fairly consistent. Let's see where this line's gonna end. Try to hit the middle right there.
We know that Congress is the one who controls the purse strings, and we know that there are separation of powers concerns if the executive branch, not the legislative branch, tries to say, don't spend that federal money that's already been appropriated. All a long way of saying, I think we're seeing again, at the very least, a stress test for what judges will allow and what will be implemented.
Today, White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt said that while the spending freeze was rescinded, the president's executive order reviewing the use of federal funds remains in full force. President Trump also signed a Lake and Riley Act marking the first legislation of his second term. The bipartisan bill requires federal authorities to detain migrants who are accused of theft, burglary, or assaulting a police officer. Lawmakers named the bill after nursing student Lake and Riley, who went on a run and never returned. She was murdered by a Venezuelan man who entered the country illegally.
All right, so we're gonna bring this up.
Did you eat?
And let's keep building this up. Continue to build up this pencil area. This toe area is looking good. The foot area, we're gonna go. You know, this is not how to draw a foot, by the way. If you want to learn how to draw a foot, you really just need to draw the foot. This is how to draw, do Charles Bargue plates. And here we go. So we're gonna come around. Feel like this is an accurate location for this. Maybe a little bit higher.
It's not the debris site. This is household items being taken out of the area and moved to a safe disposal site.
Mayor Stewart says the EPA has a mandate to have this first.
And this should pretty much come around.
Regarding safety measures being taken at the site, a statement from the EPA to NBC4 reads in part that pre-sampling of the Palisades staging area.
And let's see, come below this.
The statement goes on to say, to protect the environment, EPA has lined all processing areas with plastic and installed protective measures like wattles, booms, earthen berms, and gravel. EPA will conduct perimeter air monitoring, and a water truck will spray 3 times daily to control dust.
So we're going to a system because this will speed up the recovery for everybody.
And the EPA says
Yeah, I guess the air in LA is so toxic, it's crazy.
That's the latest here from Malibu. Camilla Rebaldi, NBC4 News.
Today, NBC4 was the only one to get a walkthrough of the EPA's proposed waste site for the Eaton fire debris. This one is at Mario Park on the border of Irwindale and Azusa. Several cities in the San Gabriel Valley say they were given no heads up, no warning at all. Even though federal and county agencies knew all along about these plans, we asked LA County Supervisor Hilda Solis about that.
How much does the county take responsibility in terms of doing that type of notification, if not for December, for the next time?
Well, hopefully all of us will know at one time, but that didn't happen.
There's another multi-city town hall happening.
And there we go. Let's bring this up right here.
Next at 6, the pump who really needs your help. Meet Shiloh, the longest resident of an animal shelter in the Inland Empire. Could your help be...
And we're gonna go just a little bit past that, so just a little bit an angle. Let's figure out the measurement, not a measurement, but just eyeing it.
Let me speak from the heart for a moment. This year, one choice leaves no doubt. Conclave has been nominated by the Producers Guild of America for Best Picture of the Year.
And it should go up to the right, so up and then to the right. Yeah, it's fairly accurate, very accurate. Just, you know, I think if you're just constantly looking at proportion, angle, and, you know, you're getting the majority of the key points right, like, you know, matching up where things interact. You know, you won't be doing it like this if you're doing like a live, probably. You know, you could if you have the time, but, you know, nobody has that type of time anymore, right? That was one reason why art has changed so much, is because, you know, people back then, I think, they could, you know, you could work on a painting for, you know, for the church, right? And you could spend 10 years, right? But if you want to be an artist today, you actually have to have like a decent output. It's like expected, you know? Gotta have some output. Especially if you're looking for a career, because, you know, commercial artists especially, man. Commercial artists are, got to pump out lots and lots of work every day. And, you know, artists change so much. But I think it's a good thing. I think I think it was like Raphael or Raphael, Michelangelo. Who's the other one? Not Da Vinci, Michelangelo, Raphael. But anyway, there's like an artist who like was supposed to work on a painting for like 10 years. They spent like 10 years and they never finished it, and they were commissioned by the like the church to finish this like statue. I forget what story it was, but just interesting to think that, you know, they got hired and they never finished. But like today, you know, there's probably artists out there that can make one masterpiece their entire life. Just their very first piece that they ever make, and it's a masterpiece and it goes for a lot. But I think in general, especially today, artists have, you know, we do need to pump out work. We need to pump out artwork. Make money, 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 money. Yes. Yeah, I think we're in a place creatively where we do have the opportunity that everyone can really become an artist, but at the same time, you know, the expectation is that we are making and producing, that we are pumping out works.
Helping those affected by the Eaton fire. The event in Pasadena today with a little help from the LA Rams.
What's the secret to bringing a party together? A great meal that everyone loves. Redbird Farms Super French drumsticks are here to impress your friends and family.
And then
And packed with mouth-watering flavor. They'll take your game day, dinner, or snack time to the next level.
let's go like this. Yeah, the combination of like photography, print, mass prints. Not only is art more accessible, but it's also become totally different. And, you know, why do I even talk about art history? I think it's so helpful to know art history, especially if you're a beginner artist. Because, you know, I think there's this pressure for artists just starting out to, like, do realism. I'm not saying all artists, you know, deal with this dilemma, but there are a lot of artists that, like, deal with this dilemma of, like, you know, I should be able to do realism. I should be able to, you know, paint like, make a drawing like Michelangelo. That's what it is. But, you know, I think that comes from this type of art thinking of, like, adult artists who have had so much expectation that, you know, but do have the expectation but haven't really done the research as to where art is today. And
Baby, so cute.
And yeah.
Just hanging out with Emmett. So cute.
That's my theory. I theorize that most adult artists or adults that want to practice art automatically go towards, like, learning how to do realism because they feel like, you know, that's where it's at, right? That's where it's at, realist art. But we've come a long way since 1850, since the invention of cameras. You know, we have many amazing artists who solved the problem of, you know, what do we do now, right? What do artists do after the invention of the camera? What do artists do when you already have something that can capture, you know, from life, right? What do you do with that? And so many artists have solved that problem or have worked towards solving that problem. And, you know, realism is just, I feel like it's just a internet trending art. Of course, there's like comic books and stuff, right? But it's popular on the internet for those that don't really think about art history and like why some art is valued as much as it is. At least the art where you go, hey, you know, I could have done that, or I know someone's kid that could have done that. I'm making up voices because that's not how I actually think. So, you know, I'm not actually making fun of anybody directly, but I am using someone else's voice because if I'm not thinking in my own voice, I try to separate myself from that idea. Art has come a long way, people. Anyone who's like thinking, oh, you have to be able to do realist art, you know, just read an art history book. Read an art history book. You know, if you want realism, photography, just be a photographer. If you want to capture the beauty of realism, just go be a photographer. Be a YouTube video creator. Be a AI artist. Like if you're gonna go for realist art, like you don't even need to go be an AI artist. Very few people, only artists are gonna be upset at you. But if you can make good AI art, you know, more power to you. The only people who are going to be upset at you are people whose jobs you're taking. And that's probably a lot of people, but, you know, do what you got to do. I am not the AI police. Is that controversial? Is it controversial for an artist to tell, you know, people who are, say, hey, go make AI art, whatever. Who cares? People do care. But it is the way, it is the future, there's no stopping it, people. There's no way to stop it. Still pushing your masterpiece. Artists doo-doo. Realism is misunderstood by the masses. How would you say realism is misunderstood by the masses? What is your interpretation of the random nonsense I've been spewing? Omizu, what is your philosophy on the state of realist art? What do you disagree with? Let's start with what you disagree with. What do you vehemently oppose that I have said? AR art is misunderstood by the masses.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't. I was just about to get in the shower, so I wasn't. Let me look at it. You what? Oh, that other one. Oh, that was okay. I mean, okay. Yeah, we're black. I have a black jumpsuit I could wear, but it's a halter top, so it's gonna be cold. Of course. So if I wear this black jumpsuit, the halter top, I'm gonna have to wear a
And here we go. Let's find where our curve needs to go. It's not going to be a subtle curve. Probably right around here. People get the definition of realism confused with photorealism. The correct terminology should be naturalism. Oh, is that so? Are you disagreeing and correcting me, or are you adding to what I'm saying? How are you positioning your statement there? Scout, you're gonna have to get up. My cat is always just hanging out by me. Isn't that amazing to just have this little animal here that just always wants to hang around? Like, he rips up all our paper towels, but he's an awesome little guy. Scout. I speak cat, by the way. Oh my gosh. My other kitten is like underneath my easel. I love cats. Hey, bro. Huh? Huh? Are you sleepy? You want some attention too, huh, Pookie? Pookie wants some attention too. Yes. You can't just give it to one. You gotta give it to both. They just yawned at the same time. Why am I so amused by everything that cats do? Everything these cats do is like an amusing little, like, a very amusing situation. No, let's talk about that. How do I define realism? I define realism as anything where an artist tries overly hard to capture what they see in an overly accurate way. That's how I define realism. I'm not going to be able to repeat that definition because I already forgot my exact words, but I hope that someone here gets the idea of what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I guess what you're saying, of course, the naturalism. Yeah, that's a good explanation. I guess that was an entire movement, right? Naturalism. Of just... So right now I'm just working on this.
Yes, it was really good. We went there last week.
So let's go like this, and then... Is she frustrated? Why do cats tear up stuff? Pookie, why are you ripping the paper apart?
This one was great.
What is she doing? Should I stop her? Pookie! Pookie! Psst. What are you doing, girl? Why are you frustrated? Here, Pookie. Why are you doing that? Give me that. Stop.
Where's the base?
Here, play with this. Show them that you can play with the stick. Play with the stick. Huh? Not entertained. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained, Pookie?
Okay, well, I'm gonna get in the shower. But Emma's gonna drive me. God, I have to look for her. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Realism is not necessarily based in the superficiality of what we see, but of what we experience. Ooh. Oh, Mizu, you gotta write that down in a book somewhere. That needs to be, I'm gonna put that in a quote. Realism is not, and I'm gonna tighten this up so that has stronger language, but not based. I'm gonna remove the word necessarily because it kind of like weakens the sentence. Based in the superficiality of what we see, but of what we experience. Yeah, I know, but my chat's not a book. It's got to be written in a book. It's got to be in a book somewhere. This is book quote material, people. Right now, this is book quote material. Right here. Realism is not based on a superficiality of what we see, but of what we experience. Omizu, A.K.A. I'm just going to put your initial C so that you have your privacy. But there we go. That's a good quote, man. Very good. If I can remember that, I'm going to use it. If I ever need a definition for realism again. Or I would say, if I was to add to it, I would say, don't think of realism as the superficiality of what we see, but of what we experience. There we go. Yes, the book of Ferguson's art philosophy. So this part is very, very long here. I'm going to go right from this. This needs to be a little bit wider here, a little bit over here. And let's go. It's a new book. What do you mean don't quote you on that? How come? I mean, don't quote you on that. It's a good quote, man. It's a very good quote. honestly, if anyone ever asks me, I will defer to someone that I knew once said that realism, blah, 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 blah. Realism should not be based on the superficiality of what you see, but of what you experience. That is some powerful stuff, Omizu. I am very impressed by your wordsmithing. By your wordsmithery. For whatever reason, when I draw bigger, it always feels easier to draw bigger. I don't know why. I think when it's bigger, you're less like when you draw bigger, the little mistakes don't matter as much. Like, you know, if I draw this big, 1 millimeter of a difference, like this little toe. This is a good example, right? This little toe here, this big toe, you know, the size of this is literally like double this one. On this one, it's like double this one. So you have so much more room to like make mistakes and like do stuff that when you draw too small, you know, it just doesn't look good. The mistakes, like 1 millimeter on an eye is the difference, you know, a tiny, tiny little eye, 1 millimeter is the difference between an oversized eye and like, you know, an oversized eye and like the perfect sized eye. But if you draw big, you know, a little bit of a difference in the eye size won't be that noticeable. Like you can notice, but it's not that noticeable compared to here. Like if you were to have like a head here, you'd see that instantly that those eyes are different sizes. But if you were to have head here, these two eyes look pretty much very close to the same size. Oh, this is a joke. All right. All right. I got it. I'm a little slow on catching on to jokes unless I'm at a comedy show and that the comedian is just like super on point. And let's go right here. Let's go bring this rounded down here. That was our kitty litter. I've never been so excited to get kitty litter before. We've gotten some kitty litter. Be right back. I'm gonna pull the kitty litter from outside.
It's here?
I think I heard somebody stop in. Yeah, it's here.
Yay! Cinder's excited. Look at him. Time to check out the floor.
It is 40 pounds of kitty litter. Woo! Fun. 44.
Pour it in the boxes.
You want me to pour them in?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
Why do we need to pour them in right now?
Because I'm going to get home late and I'm not going to be able to pour it. Just pour it in now.
You need to pour it in now?
Yes.
freaking heavy.
I know.
Ah, 40 pounds, baby. Amisa, how many cats did you say you have? You have like 8 cats?
Yeah. No. The bird is actually very hungry.
Alright, so just pour them in each one.
Yeah, to cover the top. I can scoop it when I get home, but at least it doesn't litter.
Alright, so this company that I got this from, I guess they save money by putting them in bags. So we gotta be careful. They're cheaper, but because they're in bags, they're much more prone to messes.
Oh, that's a big bag.
Yes, 40 pounds.
Wow. Yeah. But I will. Oh, that's supposed to be good litter.
How do you know?
White bird? Good litter.
Huh?
Good litter. Thanks.
Hopefully this litter. Alright, he's investigating new litter. The investigation goes on.
Oh, awesome. Ooh, it looks so clean. He always does that. He wants to get in while you're cleaning.
Alright, and then this last box here.
I'm not using that.
Oh, where'd it go?
I got rid of it.
Oh, you're not using it at all?
No.
Okay. He's laying in the litter box. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
He's literally laying on top of the litter box. Just laying in it. What are you doing, crazy guy? This guy is nuts. Mr. Scout is nutso. You're crazy. You're crazy, you little cat. You crazy cat. You know how crazy you are? You're nuts. You're insane. This cat is out of control crazy. This little guy. Someone calm this kitten. Plastic buckets? Oh yeah, I haven't done the plastic buckets. Oh, maybe we have. I only ever remember using the we have used the buckets? Okay. You know, we can actually bring this down a little bit. Just because the angle of this. I'm gonna go like that. And this around. Include the shadow. You know what? We're gonna bring this down just a little bit. It's part of the toe. Let's go like this. We're gonna go bring this up. Go around right here. And then like that. And like that as far as the toe goes. I mean, that toe's a little better here. It's a little fuzzier. I like the fuzz, but it's better. So we're gonna go ahead and sketch into this. Let's actually shape out some of the texture here. We're gonna round this out here. And there we go. So we switched over the bags because we have amassed too many of the buckets. You don't throw away the buckets away? I feel like the bucket, I guess you just toss them, like you just keep the buckets. Well, I guess, I mean, like if you have yes, if you have a few, I'm sure they make great stuff. Oh. I don't know. Kat doesn't like to throw away things either. Kathleen. She likes to preserve things. So if that's what you like to do, you like to keep those things. I get it, you know. I get it. No judgment, just questions. Questions. I'm giving you the 33rd degree. The third degree. Officially called the third degree. All right, here we go. Round this out a bit. The third degree, and this area. And there we go. I think this is better than the last one. Here we go. So we were repurposing them. Yes, you can repurpose them into artwork too. Da 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 da. All right. So I can already tell that this toe right here needs some work. We need to go bring this across a little better and add a little bit of a roundness. We need a lighter shadow to bring around, so we're gonna bring our 2B around. We're just gonna bring in our other shadow here. So we're gonna go let's see, how else can we use this dark outline? This dark outline needs to go right here. We're going to come right in here, form this angle. Form this angle. And let's go around this little toe color space. And let's figure out how we're going to navigate this. We're going to start to sketch out a subtle transition here. Transition of color. Now what's interesting is this part, this needs to go like right here. Just second toe, and then around. Okay, it's okay if it's a little the color's a little off, but we're gonna go here. Let's see, down right there, and we're gonna bring this shadow up to whatever. What do you call it, Cat? What do you call those things on the side of people's feet when they get bunions? Yes. So clearly a bunion right here. And barnacle. That's built up using the buckets. You like to say we live in a bucket. Well, that's cool. That's good that you were able to build a house using buckets. Dude, you should totally make a YouTube channel about that. About building your house from kitty litter buckets. That would be a great idea. I would do something like that if that's what I did. Why not? Why not tell people of your bucket house? The world shall know of the Omizu's bucket house. So here we go. We've got some good shadows right here. We're going to go a little better with these shadows right now. And then let's go like this. Keep it rounded. And here we go. So we go into here. I don't think those are really dark shadows. I think the darkest shadow is going to be right up in this toe. So we're going to go like that. Separate this toe. Oh, I see a problem. So this toe looks like it's curved record me in a very unusual way. Just this little angle here. Just this little angle will totally mess up the whole toe. This one angle, where you're not careful. I think what needs to happen is this needs to come down. Is that better? It's a little better. A barnacle on the side of your foot. Let's get a barnacle. Barnacle. Amisa, you've been corrected. She said it's not a barnacle, it's a bunion. They're like... No, you're leaving.
No, they were talking to each other.
Oh, okay, fine. So you know what? Let me try this technique. I'm gonna use a lighter pencil to do like a base layer, and I feel like there's probably a name for this, but I'm gonna use a lighter color for a base layer of shadow, and then I always have the opportunity to go over it again with a dark color. This way, I'm not spending so much time trying to analyze like where the dark colors go. Because with pencil, it's easy to go lighter. I mean darker, but it's not as easy to go lighter. So, this will be a good opportunity to just play with that idea. And then right here, this is going to go around. Around and down. And then, let's see, this will go like this. Come down. So go nice and sharp up. And there we have it. So we're going to go and here we go. Yeah, we can totally work this area a little bit better as we get along. But for now, getting in the rest of the shadows here to just create this extra layer of dimension. And this pencil is a number 2B So it's a little lighter, which means, you know, you do get the more subtle shift in color. So let's go like this. We're gonna bring this around.
Alexa, what time is it?
It's 6:57 p.m.
And we're probably going to be wrapping up here in a little bit. We got a couple of things to do. I got a couple of things to do.
Excuse me. Hey. Simba.
And then we're going to go a couple of different textures here. And you know what? I got to do this little triangle of a foot thing here. So let's go like this. And as I'm like shading in these spaces here, I'm also going into the white area and like finding little ways to add in these little marks that like create the subtlety of this. And the other problem is that there's lighter area around here, so what I have to do is probably go in with the darker pencil. Once I have this all down, I can actually just go in with a darker pencil. But let's go ahead and like figure out how the rest of this is going to go. Right, we're going to go, what is this mark right here? This mark marks, I guess, where this foot comes around, and then this piece. Okay, so this foot is going to mark right here. So we're going to draw that down like that. And then we got another little piece like right over here. And then we got some more. So just drawing out some of the other shadow zones here. And let's go like this. So once this comes around, yes, this is going to come around like that. And these are just foot wrinkles. So not really spending, you know, getting too serious about them.
I need help. I guess I need to go in there. I need you to button this if you could. Will they come around?
Now I can do it. Okay. Look cute.
Thank you.
Got cute freckles.
Damage.
Huh?
My sun damage.
Yo, what's up? Bedtime. Been great. Hey, wow. Well, hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for being around, Joel. Hope you have some good, inspiring dreams that take you to the next level in your life, whatever that is. Or if you're already at the next level, the next level. Or whatever. So, you know, dreams are powerful. I always wonder, I've always wanted to do like, I feel like this would be a fun research project, is if somebody was to be like, you know, just ask a bunch of people, what do you know, what's like one of your typical dreams consist of? And that would be, and then, you know, you evaluate them by their careers and different things like that. And I feel like that would be revealing of like, you know, how dreams, you know, how different people dream, whether different people in different careers or times of their life have different types of different dreams. Which I'm sure what we'll find out is that, yes, people have different dreams. But what kind, right? Like, and then, you know, you can actually influence your own dreams. And I'm not talking like astral projection or anything. I'm just talking like, if you sit, you know, hasn't anyone ever had a dream where something bad happened to them? Or like something really good? Or like, you know, you met somebody and you have like these dreams, or like one of your friends is in your dreams and then they call you like the next day or something like that. You know, like, I think dreams can be influenced by our minds. And if we just knew, like, what if by the simple influencing of our dreams, it was possible to create changes in our lives, right? Isn't that a cool thesis? I think that's an awesome thesis. That is an awesome thesis. I like it. I like my own ideas. I love my own ideas. My ideas are awesome. So here we go. Let's go in with right here. We're going to go around. Just get this shading in. Shading around the toe. I have this theory that if you can change someone's dreams, if you could change what people dream about, you could change and influence, like, positively, hopefully, for the better. You can influence their quality of life. You can influence their self-esteem. You can influence their potential, their skill. You could influence their so many things. If you can influence someone's dreams. Very much like Inception. And here we go. How's this progress? Yes, we could see that these toes and the shadows are coming along, and all I really need to do is come in with a dark pencil all I really need to do at some point is come in with a nice dark pencil and just start to
Can I borrow your velvet jacket?
oh, the one with all the crystals.
Yeah, because I don't really have anything else to wear. We go really good with this.
Does it fit?
I don't know.
Try it. Go for it.
Where is it?
It's in my thing.
A garment bag?
No, it's in my closet somewhere. I don't know. Okay, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready-ish. Alright, everybody, just letting you know that we're gonna have to go soon. I'm gonna have to go soon. I will have to go soon. But not right now. So it seems like it's working. I like that I can capture the shadow with this lighter color first. And then, you know, the idea is that we're going to work the shadows darker once the time comes. So let's go across the shadow over here. And then we're going to go like this. And there we go. Hey, this is looking good. I like what I've accomplished. So let's go into here. We're gonna just color in all this area. Color it in. Try to keep it a consistent stroke of the pencil. And here we go. So uh-oh. Man. That's what happens when you're blindly doing things without paying attention. So this piece right here is messed up a little bit, but here we go. Let's see. This can go down. Once it comes down, and it creates like a little offshoot right here. So let's actually do that one. Do this right here. Just draw that, and then let's go like this. Bam. Kat, how much more time do you need? You're ready? All right, wonderful people. Well, I'm not done with this. We'll probably be back in a little bit, maybe an hour. But those of you who hear that right now, I've got to take a break, take care of a couple things, and then we'll be back. We shall be back to finish this piece and more. We shall be back to finish this and beyond. We'll go beyond, like what the great Buzz Lightyear once said, to infinity and beyond, whatever that even means. How beyond infinity can you go? Here's a fun question. If someone didn't invent Buzz Lightyear, if, you know, a writer didn't come up with Buzz Lightyear and say to infinity and beyond, would anybody who made a toy ever come up with that quote? That brilliant quote? I don't know. But we're going to be back in about an hour or so. So everybody, thank you so much. Great to be able to do some sketches while y'all are just chilling, hanging out. Hope this is a relaxing time for y'all. But still got some work to do. Got some tightening up on the shadows. I have to stop being such a wimp with the darker shades. And honestly, I don't think I have a pencil that can actually capture this shade. Let me see. Let me just test out some of my pencils here. What happened to all my pencils? Alright, let's see. So we got a 6B and a 2B. Let's see if it's even possible to capture the density of color with this. Honestly, I think it could even be darker. Yeah, I think it's just because of the reflection of the light, it's almost impossible to like get it as dark. That, you know what? That value is actually not too bad. It's even darker, really. I mean, I guess it depends on angle. But that's a 6B. Let's see what a 2B is possible. As far as value goes, I mean, it's actually pretty dark. So the truth is, I mean, I'm probably just being a wimp, right? Like, I'm just being a wuss with these colors, with these shadows. It's hard to see with this light, but once you turn it that way, yeah, I'm ready. I hear you. Okay. All right. We'll be back. 4H, 3H, 2H, H, F. I don't know how all these went over just one row. That's so weird. I must have gotten shaken or something. But we'll be back later, people. Have a good night. Be back soon.